spending all of your time in your career in policing. Why do you think it took so long for this cold case to be opened and for this crime to be solved, or on its way to being solved, rather?
It really is a great question, especially considering that he is such a high-profile individual. He's an NBA star. So, what was the delay? What was happening with the police? Why they weren't able to get their information? They didn't recover the body for 9 days, and usually you go right to family members. So, Shara would have been on the list of one of the people, especially after receiving $1 million life insurance policy, who had a stake in his death. It was a murder. And that's the first person that you look at. So why weren't these records looked at with a fine-tooth comb in the beginning? It's a great question, and I don't have the answer right now.
Yeah, and early in that clip, we did hear her talking about first speaking with Shara and trying to understand where he was and then reporting him missing. Lisa, what did you pick up on that from her conversations? Does it sound like she was suspicious of Shara?
Indeed, it did. And the conversations that she had, she felt suspect to her. They felt flippant. Everything that she said kind of trailed off, so it didn't make sense to her. So she was suspicious from the beginning. It was her former daughter-in-law. They were divorced, at that time and had many children together. So the fact that she wasn't concerned and never called the police, that the mother was the one who actually did that, didn't sit well with her. And I think that was important for the jury to hear.
That was Shara Wright's cousin, Claudia. Shara Wright, of course, is Lorenzen Wright's ex-wife. She is in jail currently for the manipulation in this murder case. That was a pretty bombshell claim. Lisa, let's start with you. What do you make of this claim that Shara thought that Lorenzen had a hit out on her? She said it was either him or me.
It's kind of the preemptory way to protect herself, so that when Lorenz does end up dead, that she can say that that was the excuse. It was him or me, and she had a threat. But the whole thing about this is, was there a threat? Where's the documentation of the threat? How did she find out of a threat against her? And what's also very damning, obviously, for Billy right now is because Billy was present during the conversation of, it's either him or me. And Billy just kind of nodded his head with it. And then also when she felt that she was going to be killed based on her being privy to that conversation, and she thought this whole thing was ludicrous and couldn't believe it was happening, so she removed herself from that situation. And that information can be documented as far as what she was doing and her whereabouts, and probably even so in the case against Shara when she went to court for her trial.